we see Caitlin Clark pulling up from logo range, oh, well, I'll be damned. When we see Caitlin Clark running the floor, finding Hannah Stuelke, like...
Welcome back to our YouTube channel, where we dive into the hottest topics in sports with passion, stats, and a sprinkle of real talk. Today, we're tackling a question that's been buzzing in basketball circles. Why are some folks in the media so quick to compare JuJu Watkins to Caitlin Clark? I mean, JuJu's spectacular, let's get that out of the way. She's got game, charisma, and a future brighter than a courtside spotlight. But when prominent voices start saying we should talk about her the same way we talk about Caitlin Clark, it feels like we're skipping a few chapters in the story. So grab a seat and let's unpack this with some heart, some numbers, and a whole lot of perspective. The spark that started it. All picture this. You're scrolling through your feed, and a clip pops up from a major sports show. A well-known analyst, let's call him a big voice in the game, drops a take that makes your jaw hit the floor. He says, with all the confidence of someone who's never missed a free throw, that JuJu Watkins deserves the same hype.
She's spectacular. She's spectacular. And when are we going to start talking about her the same way we talk about Caitlin Clark? I mean, you look at her skills, you look at what she is. She is special. When are we going to start doing that? Because let me tell you something.
The same adoration and the same cultural spotlight as Caitlin Clark. Now, I'm all for giving flowers where they're due, but this feels like handing out MVP trophies before the season's even halfway done. JuJu Watkins is a phenomenal talent. She's a sophomore at USC, tearing up the court with a scoring prowess that demands attention. Her ability to drive to the rim, shake defenders, and finish through contact is the stuff of highlight reels. She's got that spark, that swagger that makes you believe she's destined for greatness. But Caitlin Clark? She's not just a player, she's a phenomenon. A record-breaking, defense-warping, logo-shooting force who's already left an indelible mark on women's basketball. Comparing the two right now feels like saying a promising rookie chef is ready to take on a Michelin star veteran. Both are talented, but one's still perfecting their recipe. So why the rush? Why are we trying to put JuJu in Caitlin's sneakers when she's still carving her own path? Let's break it down, piece by piece, and figure out what's driving this narrative, and why it might be doing more harm than good. JuJu Watkins. A star on the rise first, let's talk about JuJu. If you haven't watched her play, do yourself a favor and catch a USC game. She's a scoring machine, averaging around 26 points per game in her college career so far. Her game is built on aggression. She attacks the basket like it owes her money. Whether it's a silky crossover to shake a defender or a powerful drive through traffic, JuJu plays with a fearlessness that's infectious. She's not just putting up points.
Her skill sets, her ball handling ability, her driving ability, her shot making ability, her three-point shooting shot making ability. This sister is something special. She is spectacular.
She's doing it with style, drawing oohs and ahs from the crowd. Off the court, JuJu's got that magnetic personality that brands love. She's relatable, confident, and carries herself with a quiet intensity that hints at big things to come. At just 20 years old, she's already a leader for her team, a role model for young fans, and a player scouts are circling on their draft boards. Her freshman season was a statement. 1,604 points in 62 games, 436 rebounds, and a knack for delivering in clutch moments. She's not just good, she's special. But here's the thing, being special doesn't mean you're ready to wear the crown. JuJu's game, as electrifying as it is, has areas where she's still growing. Her playmaking, for instance, is developing but not yet elite. Her 214 assists in 62 games show she's more scorer than floor general.
Her coming last year, but now that Caitlin Clark is gone, we should be focusing on her even more so now. And just like I told you when Caitlin Clark was the golden goose, I said that's the golden goose. That didn't mean she was the...
Her three-point shooting at 33% is solid but not a game changer. And while she's a rebounding guard, her impact on the glass doesn't quite shift the game's flow the way some other stats do. These aren't knocks, they're just facts. JuJu's on a trajectory to be a superstar, but she's still climbing the mountain. Caitlin Clark. Redefining the game now. Let's shift to Caitlin Clark because any conversation about JuJu's place in the spotlight inevitably circles back to her. Clark isn't just a player, she's a cultural force. When she was at Iowa, she didn't just break records, she shattered them into confetti. Fastest to 2,000 points in NCAA history, 75 games. 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles in 139 college games. A jaw-dropping 471 assists in her first 62 games alone. These aren't just numbers, they're a resume that screams generational talent. What makes Clark so unique is how she bends the game to her will. Her shooting range is absurd. She's pulling up from 30 feet like it's a layup. Defenses have to guard her at half court, which opens up the floor for her teammates. She's not just scoring, though she did plenty of that with 1,662 points in her first 62 games. She's orchestrating. Her vision is surgical. She threads passes through gaps most players don't even see. And her efficiency? Clark shot 46% from the field and 37% from three, numbers that hold up under the pressure of being the defense's primary target every night. But it's not just stats that make Clark stand out, it's the feel.
But the biggest problem is this is his show, and he's decided not to talk about JuJu. That's the funny part. Deep down, I think Steven ain't know.
These numbers tell a story. Clark wasn't just putting up stats, she was running the show, elevating her teammates, and forcing opponents to rewrite their scouting reports. JuJu's a scoring dynamo, but her game is more one-dimensional at this stage. She's a bulldozer in the lane, but she's not yet bending defenses the way Clark does. Now let's talk shot charts, because this is where the difference really pops. Clark's shot chart looks like a heat map from a sci-fi movie. She's lighting it up from everywhere, mid-range, three-point line, even 35 feet out. Her ability to hit rainbow threes forces defenders to chase her far beyond the arc, which collapses defenses and creates open looks for her team. JuJu's shot chart, by contrast, is paint-heavy. She lives at the rim, using her strength and quickness to score or draw fouls. It's effective, she's nearly unstoppable downhill, but it's easier to scheme against. Pack the paint, send help defense, and dare her to shoot from deep. Teams can't do that with Clark. Her range makes it impossible.
Seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball.
The media machine. Who controls the narrative? Here's where things get spicy. The analyst who sparked this debate isn't some random voice shouting into the void. He's a media titan. He's got a platform that reaches millions, a show that sets the sports agenda, and a knack for turning hot takes into viral moments. When he says, "Why aren't we talking about JuJu like we talk about Caitlyn?" It's not just a question, it's a narrative. And here's the kicker. He's not powerless in this equation, he is the media. If he thinks JuJu deserves more shine, he could dedicate an entire segment to her highlights, her story, her potential. Instead, he tosses out a comparison that feels more like clickbait than analysis. This isn't just about one take, though. It's about how sports media works in 2025. We live in an era of instant reactions where the loudest voice wins. Analysts know that comparing a rising star to an established icon will spark debate, drive engagement, and keep the algorithm happy. But there's a cost. When you force a comparison that doesn't fit, you risk overshadowing the player you're trying to champion. JuJu doesn't need to be the next Caitlin Clark to be great. She's JuJu Watkins with her own style, her own journey, and her own story to tell. Think about it. When we talk about Caitlin Clark, we're not just talking about her stats. We're talking about her impact. The sold-out arenas, the kids wearing her jersey.
Just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular.
The way she's brought new eyes to women's basketball. Clark's rookie season with the Indiana Fever in the WNBA only amplified that. She's averaging 20 points and 8 assists while carrying a franchise. JuJu, as talented as she is, hasn't had that moment yet. She's still building her legacy, and there's no shame in that. Greatness takes time. Why the comparison feels forced? Let's get real for a second. Comparing JuJu to Clark right now is like comparing a promising indie band to a global superstar who's headlining world tours. Both make music, sure, but one's still playing local gigs while the other's selling out stadiums. Clark's impact transcends stats. She's changed how we think about women's basketball. Her long-range shooting draws comparisons to Steph Curry, not because she's a carbon copy, but because she's forcing defenses to adapt in ways we haven't seen before. JuJu's game, while thrilling, is more traditional. She's a scorer, a driver, a force in the paint. It's a different flavor of greatness, and that's okay.
Everybody can agree on is JuJu is special. JuJu is a great player. I love her personality. I love how she's aggressive on the court. She gets down here.
Here's a quick analogy. Imagine you're at a barbecue. Clark's the chef who's invented a new sauce that's got everyone talking. Spicy, bold, unlike anything you've tasted. JuJu's the one perfecting a classic recipe. Think ribs so tender they fall off the bone. Both are delicious, but one's rewriting the cookbook while the other's mastering the grill. Forcing them into the same conversation feels like saying, why aren't we raving about the ribs the way we rave about the sauce? Because they're different, and they don't need to compete to shine. The cultural context. Why Clark captivates part of Clark's dominance comes from her cultural footprint. She's not just a player, she's a moment. When she was at Iowa, she drew record-breaking TV audiences. Her NCAA tournament games outrated NBA finals in some cases. Fans didn't just watch her, they felt her. She brought a swagger, a relatability that made her a hero to some and a villain to others. That's what stars do. They polarize, they inspire, they sell. JuJu's got charisma, no question. Her interviews are gold. She's funny, grounded, and has a knack for connecting with fans. But she's still building that larger-than-life aura. Clark's been in the spotlight longer, facing the pressure of being the face of a movement. She's handled it with poise, delivering on the court and off it. JuJu's time will come, but expecting her to match Clark's cultural weight at this stage is unfair. It's like asking a sophomore to ace a PhD exam.